Talkin with Topher is sponsored by slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com, promo code Topher for 10% off your purchase, New Hampshire Vape Gallery, and naturalbossnh.com. More on that later. Let's get into episode 116.
At it again.
What is happening, TwT fans? It is so good to be back. That's right, on this June 23rd, 2022. How are all of you doing out there? I'm doing really good. I got to enjoy Father's Day with my dad. It was awesome. We went bowling. We had a grand old time. So I am still running off of that energy. It was just so much fun to hang out with them and enjoy that. So I hope everybody out there got to enjoy their fathers or just enjoyed their Father's Day and got to do what they wanted to. Before I get into anything else today, let's start off by saying thank you. Thank you to everybody out there for subscribing, watching, sharing, rating, reviewing. I greatly appreciate all of you. Let's keep this up. Keep spreading that word. Keep sharing this thing. And as always, thank you for everything you do for the podcast. I just appreciate it. And if you are new to the podcast, that's right, you stopping by, checking it out, just listening, subscribe, leave a review, give a thumbs up for the videos, make friends in the comment section, okay? All of this helps the algorithm. But yeah, so just remember to hit the subscribe button. It is the one thing I'm asking everybody to do. It's free for you, and it means everything to me. I'm also on social media. Yes, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, and Facebook. You can go there, follow. I'm on there every week, almost all week, trying to give you some extra stuff for the rest of the week. So go to Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, and Facebook and give a follow. I greatly appreciate it. And of course, if you want to get more involved with the podcast, you want to get an opportunity to get some free Slowdown merch, maybe you or someone you know has that story that needs to be heard. Maybe you're looking for advice. Maybe you have vape questions that need to be answered. Maybe you just want to get involved with the podcast and say hello. You can do all of that by sending an email over to talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. That's the official email of the podcast. That's talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. All right. And now with all of that out of the way, today's episode is going to be, well, it was a fun one for me. I got to learn some stuff, and there was a bunch of stuff about YouTube's terms of service that I never knew before. And unfortunately, I had a couple hiccups with the guests. That's right. But luckily, Tyler was capable of filling in. We're promoting his 2 new singles that are coming out. His link tree is in the description. We mentioned it a couple times. I just want to mention it one more time. Both of his singles will be available everywhere July 1st. All right. So I want to shout him out because he helped me out, and that's the way this world works. All right, so go and check him out. Help him out the way you've helped me out. Check out his music. You can lock in a little bit early and check that out. But we had a great conversation. I just greatly appreciate him taking the time out of his day to help me out of a jam. And now let's get into the podcast, because I don't want to waste any more of your time, and I'm just sitting here rambling anyway. So without further ado, my guest, Tyler Crain. All right, so we are back. That's right. I want to thank you right off the bat for filling in, since I had some guest complications, I will call them. So I appreciate you coming back onto the podcast.
100%.
So before we get into anything, let's just plug, promote anything you got going on.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I got some music coming out in a couple weeks, July 1st. I have 2 singles dropping on all major platforms. You can find me on Instagram, Gridlink Music, also on Facebook. Check out my link tree, and that'll basically put you everywhere. I'll put you on my YouTube, SoundCloud, Bandcamp. Every website that I'm on is on my link tree. So
Excellent.
check that out.
That will also be in the description under this video. I will put all the links, Linktree, GridLink, SoundCloud. It's all there. So
as well as the pre-save links for Spotify. So if you want to go ahead and pre-save them,
nice.
I'd appreciate it.
Those singles are very good, and I'm super pumped for them to drop.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
You should be.
It's been a long time coming.
All right. With all that out of the way, like I said, I had some complications with some guests, and I guess this is just the way it goes for me.
It happens.
It's just so I feel like things are just sometimes not supposed to work for me. I just really do. I have all kinds of complications, especially since this morning. Shell needs to get their shit together. They sent my wife a thing in the mail, right? And it's like, you get 20 cents off a gallon if you fill this out. And it's supposed to put you into some sweepstakes. And she filled it out. It's supposed to work. I get to Shell, and I go to pump, and it's still my 5 cents off per gallon. And I was very confused. And so I went in and talked to the clerk. Do you think he knew what I was talking about?
Oh, no way.
Absolutely not.
Not at all.
He had no idea he was like, a sweepstakes? I don't know what you're talking about. You just put your rewards card in the machine. That's it. And I was like, cool. So it doesn't work. So I text my wife, and she's like, well, I just activated it again. I was like, cool. Still didn't work. So I don't know what this was or what she filled out. I'm just hoping that her identity hasn't been stolen.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of false things going on, but it seemed pretty real. You know what I mean? So I was very irritated, and I was also like, you know what? This is just the way things go for me. When I feel like, because I freaked out last week because of, gas and stuff like that. You know, me and my wife, we've been having the same conversation for weeks now, just like anybody else, trying to get to work, trying to do things. And she got this sweepstakes, and I didn't. And I was like, let me figure this out. And she's like, well, let me see if I can. And I was like, you know what? It doesn't even matter. What I'll do is you just fill your car because you're still under $5 a gallon.
Yeah.
I'm $5.75 a gallon. Yeah. So I was like, I'll use it for me because one, my tank's bigger and I'm more expensive. So why don't we just use that? That's why I brought her card with me. And then of course, everything fell apart. And I've just been like, I just don't think things are supposed to work, or this is the universe telling me that I got super upset about absolutely nothing. Yeah. At the end of the day.
Out of curiosity, was it through an email?
Mm-hmm.
So I would encourage you to check the fine print on that. I have had very bad experiences with Shell's reward program. Just because, I mean, they knocked me down to only 3 cents off a gallon. So I'm a little salted
that's
about
right. I
that.
remember you telling me that.
But I get emails about this stuff all the time. And of course I click them because I'm like, damn, 20, 30 cents off a gallon. I could use that. But there's usually like a fine print that's like, you have to fill up X amount of times by this day, or it's not available. Like that's just what I've seen. I haven't seen anything about a sweepstakes. But I've seen fine print on these really eye-catching emails that's like, hey, you can get 30 cents off a gallon, but if you scroll down and you look, it says, but only if you fill up, 3 times, and it has to be this many gallons each time, and it has to be by this date. Like there's a lot of fine print I find with Shell's rewards programs, which is probably why if I go back and I like in-depth read the fine print of Shell's rewards program, I'll probably find my answer on why I got knocked down to 3 cents off a gallon versus 5.
How much do you want to bet? Because they've been trying to do this for quite some time now. I've gotten multiple emails to link my debit card to the rewards card, and supposedly that is going to help me save money. How much you want to bet?
Probably.
It was another push to add her debit card to the card, and then you would have gotten the 20 cents. Otherwise, if you don't connect them, you just get your regular 5 cents off.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that 100%.
I bet you're right. But I looked at it like, hey, you freaked out, made a huge deal about this, and then the universe had this way of just smacking me in the face and being like, do you see how unimportant that was when you freaked out about all of this? Because you still only got 5 cents.
Yep.
And I was like, you know what, universe? I don't agree with you, but I see you. I see you and I hear you, because every time you have this way of taking whatever I was freaking out about and I thought I had it all under control, and it just smacks me in the face and goes, no, you have nothing under control. Nothing is in your control. There's like, so I was super pissed at the friggin' pump this morning. I was like, where's my 20 cents off? Because
what the hell's
I mean,
going
I
on?
got 10 gallons. That's $2.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I want to save $2. That'd be nice.
What kills me the most is the fact that like the clerks just have no idea.
No, they have none.
Like
I even said to myself, I'm like, I'm wasting more time by going
just
in there.
asking them.
Yeah, of course.
They're keeping cigarettes stocked and drink stocked. That's all they're doing.
Half of the time, the mart itself is not even part of the gas station.
Yeah, it's.
They're like, I press a button. If the pump's not working, you can't use it. Like that's where they are at. They're just like, I don't know. I press buttons, things work. And then if they don't, I don't know how to do anything.
Throw an out of order sign on it.
Yeah, and then they move on with
Yeah.
their life. So I was just like, Jesus Christ, man. Why does the universe always have this way of like, I think it just has a way of keeping me in line sometimes. It makes
Keeps you on your toes.
I'm just like, I was so sure that I was going to be able to do this, and I felt like I was justified for freaking out. And come lo and behold, nope, Chris just got upset, lost his shit, and no.
I mean, I think there's some validity in being upset about maybe not false advertising, but misleading advertising, especially with these gas companies that are price gouging Americans, but also trying to sell themselves as, hey, we're trying to help you. We hear you. We're going to help you save money by giving you 20 cents off a gallon while we're raking in record profits.
Well, that's the thing.
I think you're valid in being upset. I think it's where it could become a problem, at least where it becomes a problem with me, is when it like affects my mood for like the overall day.
Yeah.
Like that's like it's okay to be upset and be frustrated and feel those feelings, but it's when it starts affecting other areas of my life that I'm like, pause and like, okay, like at the end of the day, there's not much I could do about it. Like,
right. Yeah. But right now, everybody's trying to save money on gas.
Yeah.
So when you send out emails like that and then they don't work, I got I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
No. I want to save my money on gas, guys. I want to save money on gas. You know, I'd love to be paying like, $3.75 again, because the average is like $2 everywhere. I just saw a thing this morning. It was like $8 a gallon.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might have been California, but there was a few other places, and I was like, $8 a gallon in the U.S. That's insane. That's regular gas. That's regular.
yeah.
I was like, wow, I'd be paying almost $10 a gallon if I lived there, and it's just so crazy to me. And after having such a good jiu-jitsu class, I was so bummed out. I was like, this is starting off like a real good day. I was like, I'm amped up. We had a great class, and then all of a sudden, I get smacked in the face with more money. And I was just like, okay. And then, trying to get out of there. It's just chaos today. Just chaos.
Dude, the traffic, it was awful. It was awful on my way down there. Like there was
it's getting thick. It's getting
there was this
thick.
RV down there, dude, and something was broken, man, because I was choking on gasoline fumes behind this.
Really?
Like, it looked like Walter White's meth lab. Like it was rickety. It was old. It stunk. I was like, man,
how many people made that meth lab after watching that show?
Oh, a lot.
How many? There's got to be so many out there. Like, so many people were like, that's a great idea.
Albuquerque deserts are just filled
with
meth lab
Winnebagos
RVs
everywhere. Old, outdated Winnebagos. Meth labs everywhere. It was such a good thing. Slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. That's slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. You're not sure how to spell it? It's right here at the bottom of the screen, or click the link in the description below the video. And now, when you go to check out, that's right, TOPHER, put that in the promo code. Before you check out, you're going to save 10% off your purchase. Woo! Yeah! Wah! I'm so excited. I need to thank them. I need to thank all of you. Because of you, I get this to give back to you. So I'm super pumped that you're going to save 10% on these incredible items that are already a great quality product at a great price. You can get them all here: hats, jackets, skateboards, socks, shirts, bathing suits, beach towels. Oh, it just keeps going. So go to slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com today. That's right, right now. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Go to slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. Put the promo code TOPHER before you check out and get an extra 10% off your entire purchase. And remember, that's slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. If you're not sure how to spell it, it's right here at the bottom of the screen, or click the link in the description below the video. New Hampshire Vape Gallery is located at 180 Lafayette Road, Seabrook, New Hampshire, down the street from Home Depot and next to Smoke Rings, where we are open 7 days a week from 10:30 to 8 p.m. And feel free to give us a call, 603-814-4171. And not only do we have the chill extracts, that's right, this is 1 gram of your Delta 8 THC PHHC green loose flower, chillum, pre-packed, amazing. Now you're gonna get live resin. This thing is awesome. This is called the Dome Wrecker. That's right. This is 2 different live resins. One's an indica, one's a sativa. They are both HHC. The bottom of the device has a switch on it. You can flip it to one side and vape one side. You can flip it to the other side and vape the other side. Both sides are going to get you high. So you put it in the center, boom, you got a Dome Wrecker. That's right. You're vaping from both sides simultaneously. These things are going to be awesome. You get 3 milliliters of live resin for $50. What a deal, I'm telling you. And now we're also going to be carrying the Looper. Looper is Girl Scout cookies. It is HHC plus D8 plus THCP. It's 1,000 milligrams. These ones I don't have the price on yet, but I love the device. The Looper device is so cool. Nice, slim, easy to use, works great. Tastes great. I mean, these products really will blow your mind. And we're going to have them in stock always. New Hampshire Vape Gallery. We've got it all. You already know I carry everything, and I'm just carrying more and more and more. That's right. Our stock keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. This new legal hemp side of things is awesome. No state taxes and nothing to worry about, right? Perfect. I'm in. So come to New Hampshire Vape Gallery today and see us, the guys at the gallery, where we're going to have all your products in stock, all right? And we're located at 180 Lafayette Road, Seabrook, New Hampshire, down the street from Home Depot, next to Smoke Rings, where we're open 7 days a week from 10:30 to 8 p.m. Give us a call, 603-814-4171. And as always, I look forward to seeing you there. Do you like organic products? Do you love small business? You're not going to get anything else but that from here. That's right, naturalbossnh.com. This website has 5 organic, amazing products. You know, I love a small business. It's one of my favorite things to support, and that's because they just make a better quality product. And you can tell they don't have 500 products to choose from. There are 5, and they're all amazing. You got lip balm. You got body balm. Those are great for bringing moisture back into the skin and keeping it healed. You got salve for when your skin gets dry and cracked, you need to repair it. It's great. They've got a foot and body soak that is just amazing. The beard oil is a superior product. They've also got one item on discount. That's the Feeling Rosy bath and body soak. So you can get one or all 5 of these products here at naturalbossnh.com. That's naturalbossnh.com. And now, back to the show. The main thing I wanted to talk about today was, and I'm not calling out YouTube. I'm not saying that I'm not bashing anybody. I'm not bashing any of the names in this party. I'm not saying whether they're right, wrong, or anything else. I just wanted to talk about this because you brought it up to me, and I thought this was such an interesting subject. I've done a little bit of diving myself. That video link you sent me, I watched that, but you are more educated on the names, the people involved, and what's going on with it. But the overall thing is the terms of service that are the guidelines of YouTube that all us YouTubers are supposed to follow. And I follow them as close as I can. Sometimes I don't know if I do something wrong. Like last week when I uploaded my video, I didn't realize there was literally 28 seconds of music in it. And I got flagged and I had to tear the whole thing down and I had to put it back up. So I was up till 4 o'clock in the morning fixing that error. And then I realized through an email, not even through YouTube Studios, mind you, YouTube. Could you put it on the studios, please? But I got an email after I did all that work, and it said it will not be shown in Russia. And I was like, if I had known that, I would have just let the video fly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel sometimes that we don't get notified as creators by YouTube sufficiently enough. Like that should have been popped up inside of YouTube Studio, should have been like, it's just not going to be seen in Russia. Okay, I thought we tore down YouTube in Russia, but I looked into that. That's Spotify, not YouTube, so I didn't realize that. But that irritated me, and I was like, and then you brought this subject up to me, and I was like, wow, this is absolutely crazy. The terms of service are pretty intense anyways, but I kind of want to let you take us into what this is.
Yeah. I mean, my biggest takeaway, and this is how I opened it up to you when we initially talked about it. Don't bite the hand that feeds you is basically like what I've taken away from this whole situation. So this all started with a game called Elden Ring. Very popular. Right. I've talked about it. I think Bill talked about it when he was on. Very popular game. Sold a lot of copies. Infamously hard, right? Infamously challenging game from a developer that makes infamously challenging games. And so some people, every time this company releases a game, you have people coming out with bad takes that like, oh, the game is too hard, needs an easy mode, all that stuff. So this guy named Quantum TV made an Elden Ring review where he basically trashed the entire fan base, told a lot of, insulted them, and just had a really bad take on this game. So this other YouTube channel, very small channel called Mischief, who is 17, uploaded a video criticizing Quantum TV's Elden Ring take, and using some of his footage for manipulation, commentary, that kind of thing, which falls well under fair use. And fair use is super important, right? Because if we don't have fair use, you can't share a clip of anything on your YouTube and talk about it.
Right.
If we don't have fair use. So Quantum then decided he didn't like the criticism that Mischief was giving him and filed a copyright strike. Now, a copyright claim and a copyright strike are two different things.
Okay.
Copyright claims or content ID is all done in YouTube's algorithm, which, you know, can cause a variety of issues. You know, if things just like sound alike, like with samples in music, like, you know, if you use the same sample, you can get flagged, even though the sample's royalty-free. YouTube's algorithm hasn't caught up with that, so YouTube's content ID system is a little bit Wild West because they haven't figured out their algorithm yet. Copyright strikes are completely different. Copyright strikes you manually file, and you claim that the person who made the video is in direct violation of copyright, and it is basically a legal document that you're signing. It's supposed to be a legal document that you're signing. And YouTube specifically states that if they have, you know, in their terms of service, that if they have found that you are acting in bad faith and you are filing false copyright strikes and abusing the copyright system, you have committed perjury under U.S. law, and you are supposed to be disciplined for that, right? So he did this, and a much larger YouTuber by the name of Actman, who is like the main protagonist in this story.
Is that the video? Actman's the person I watched, right?
The Actman is the person you watched, yes. Okay. And he's a very large YouTuber, 1.5 or 1.6 million subscribers. He's been doing it for 7 years. I've been following him myself for years. Huge fan of his channel. And so he basically made a video that was a compilation of all the bad Elden Ring takes that were out there. Because Quantum TV was not the only one to throw a hissy fit because they died too many times in this game. So he brings up Mischief and he brings up Quantum TV and he talks about he just briefly talks about the abuse of the copyright system that Quantum TV was doing, because Mischief was not the first and only one that he did this to. He's been infamous for filing false copyright strikes. So Actman did a small little thing about it, and Quantum TV copyright struck his Elden Ring Hot Takes video. So Actman...
But this is also what Quantum does as well, though, right? Because Actman did a thing on his thing, and kind of he felt like he was treated incorrectly when he did it. But this is what Quantum does anyways, isn't it? Well, he does commentary on things?
No.
Oh, he doesn't.
He does what he wants to, but Quantum mainly does like TV calibrations, right? So like calibrating your brightness and contrast and
that's such a
TV
weird
settings.
thing,
right? Yeah,
it's a weird thing,
but it's a whole niche community.
Yes, I know.
The whole audio visual community is really.
After getting introduced to this, I found out that there's actually people that will come to your house and actually take care of your TV per room, per lighting, and everything has to be different. And I was like, I had no idea anybody. What? Yep. I turn the fucking TV on. It's got color.
Same.
It's on.
I had no idea.
I put it in movie mode or I put it in regular mode. I don't fucking know. But I've never had anybody calibrate a TV for me. So when I found out that this was a thing,
it's a whole market.
I've learned so much from this thing, but it has been going on since 2017, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So it's been going on for quite some time.
Quantum has
not to go too far off track, but I kind of want to build a timeline for the audience.
Quantum has been ban evading since 2018.
This is not something that happened yesterday. This has been something that was started back in 2017. A whole bunch of stuff, and it's led up to where we are today for a gist of a timeline.
Yeah,
just to kind of get through that.
It really it gets in when it gets into the weeds. That's when you find out how far it's gone back.
Mm-hmm.
So Actman responded with a video all about copyright abuse and how people aren't supposed to do this, and basically directly going after Quantum. So then, to nobody's surprise, Quantum copyright strikes that video, and goes a step further in doxing the Act Man and his family, and calling the Act Man's mother to intimidate or threaten or whatever he wants to say. But if you call someone's mom in response to them, like, you're a grown man, like, he's like, threatening like legal action, and he's like, your son's causing a lot of issues for me.
Out of almost everything that I've learned about this, that bothered me the most.
Yeah.
Don't call my mom, dude.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? That's a dangerous place to put yourself, because, like myself, I care very highly for my mom. And if she feels threatened or scared by something, that's something that I'm going to want to take care of, and I don't care how it gets taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very, very touchy line to be stepping on.
Yeah.
So I was very thrown back by the way that this guy acted, but it was like a 40-year-old acting like a 16-year-old.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So you kind of have to take it like that as well. Like,
yeah.
I feel like a lot of people, and I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody here, but if you stay at home and you play video games and you do these things, I'm sorry, I don't feel like you're as developed as most of us who go to work and do things. Like, if you just stay at video game land all day, I feel like you're going to stay at whatever age you locked into video game land at. You might be getting smarter. All those things are very true, but I feel like the mentality of the people behind the video games is not as developed as a lot of other people that get out into the world and do things. And I'm not, like I said, it's not to throw shade at anybody. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to, it just seems that way. Everything that I've been listening to and looking into on this is all quite childish.
Yeah.
It's like me throwing a fit about the gas and the world keeping me in check.
Yeah.
So I feel the same way about this. I feel like everybody's kind of stuck in that 16 to 25-year-old phase. And it might just be me generalizing, and I get it. It's a blanket statement. It's probably very rude, but it's my opinion. So
yeah, I mean, I definitely think there's a lot of there is a lot of that. I think one thing that's interesting, at least with Act Man, is like, he like this, like, YouTube was his job, and like Twitch was his job, and and as you saw in that video, like, there's a lot of editing and work that goes into that video.
Well, he's also a lawyer.
No.
He's not a lawyer?
No. So that was a play. No.
I got
he called himself the Act Attorney. It's a based off this game that came out. I am a personally huge fan of. Called Ace Attorney. So it was definitely like played out in that courtroom drama, but it took him like 3 or 4 days to put this video together and edit it and get everything done. And he also coordinated all those other YouTubers that jumped on the video with him. So to put in all that work and have it pulled from YouTube is very upsetting.
It's gotta be so upsetting.
We're not quite there yet. Quantum doxes Act Man. He has a Discord and he has like a fan base, and basically it was like he'll claim ignorance, but he goes on his video and he goes, Act Man's giving me shit for doxing him and calling his mom, but it's all public information. You can just easily look up Act Man, and then you can find his real name. And then if you look up his real name, you can find this, and then you can find his mother's name and his mother. So he's for all intents and purposes telling his audience, if you want to find out Act Man's information and all his family's information, all you have to do is some basic Google searches. So
So I didn't do anything out of the ordinary, is basically what he's saying.
Is how he's claiming it, how he's twisting it. But understandably, Act Man filed a police report, and handled all that and reached out to YouTube and said, hey, this guy is actively doxing me, and this needs to stop. Fast forward some time. and YouTube responds to Actman and says, "We find Quantum has done nothing wrong."
Yep.
He says the copyright strikes while not found, not to have been legitimate or valid. They said it's still a legitimate claim that we have to look into. And so Actman's response, quite understandably, was, okay, if this isn't copyright abuse, then what is?
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, this situation goes further than copyright abuse. You have doxing involved, which is a huge crime. Quantum has also violated. I mean, I have to get the list out because he treats the terms of service like a to-do list. Basically,
which I find so crazy.
So to summarize the video, you can find it on YouTube. It's been re-uploaded. That's how I shared it with you. It's called The Dark Age of YouTube. And I'll go through.
Oh, I can share that link in the description as well.
Yeah. I'll go through. Yeah. I'll go through each terms of service that he violated, and like kind of a summary of like everything that's going on. So YouTube's external links policy. Basically, if you link another website of yours or social media handle, so say you link your Twitter.
Yep.
On your YouTube. YouTube's terms of service now applies to your Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you have to abide by, no hate speech, no harmful, content, no doxing, that kind of basic stuff. So his Twitter back in 2018, was filled with just homophobic rants where he, more than homophobic rants, he wished death upon people in the LGBT community, and basically said that more people should have died in the Pulse nightclub shooting, the second most deadly shooting in American history. Really disgusting stuff. And so that's one thing. And remember, it's Pride Month, and YouTube has, really gone in on supporting that, but, they got Quantum TVs back. Hate speech, kind of already talked about that.
Yep.
He was banned from YouTube, and he posted this on Twitter. He claims he was banned for free speech. But then he goes around and, creates multiple different accounts, and has basically been ban evading. When you get banned on YouTube, you are not allowed to create a different account and come back. That's not a thing. That's called ban evasion, and that is supposed to be, terminated by YouTube.
Okay.
Cyberbullying and harassment. So, going on and that also ties into the child safety policy, where he went to Mischief, who was 17, and started threatening him with lawsuits and harassing him and threatening him and all this stuff. The ban evasion I already talked about. Copyright abuse we've already talked about. And then spam, deceptive practices, and scam policies. And that kind of goes in to that kind of tail end of that YouTube video where, this other guy, I believe it was Review Tech USA, was talking to some other people in that audio-visual TV calibration community, and basically said that, all Quantum is doing is selling settings.
Yeah, he wasn't even going into their house.
He's like, and I think either Actman said this or maybe Review Tech said this. I don't remember who exactly said it. But for that to be done properly, they have to come in and see it, similar to how if a plumber wants to work on your plumbing, they have to be in your house.
Right. Well, that's what we established in the beginning, is that literally they have to come into your house. They have to go to this TV right here in this room with this lighting and set this TV up. They are not going to use the settings for this TV in my bedroom. Just like when they set my bedroom up, they're not going to use those settings in my living room. It has to be individualized per room, per TV. And this guy's just like, here's some settings, I'll sell you these, and then you go and put this into your TV.
And then he also targets, they also were talking about, I remember one of the guy was saying, like, whenever the TV industry is slow, he picks somebody target, and he'll send his fans against them, and he'll also copyright strike and claim that this person is stealing his TV calibration settings, and that he needs to be compensated and handled. Yeah, this guy is a psycho.
See, that's crazy, because even I know, before I even knew this existed, that you can't steal TV settings.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you
What
talking
are you talking about?
It's a TV
it's all
setting.
sliders.
What if I just went in there and did it myself? Like, what are you talking
You
about,
get a
dude?
copyright strike?
First of all, that doesn't make any sense. Like, what? How many people get this done? Is this for the filthy rich? And
Yeah.
they're just like, well, I heard calibration's a thing. And like, what? Well, who told you this? No one at Best Buy has ever been like, hey, we need to come to your house and calibrate your TV.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this in my life.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a scam right off the bat.
Yeah.
But it is real.
It is real.
But who the fuck is doing this?
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of it maybe like for a home theater setup.
I guess maybe.
Because they also handle the audio too.
Are you talking like you have an in-home theater?
Yeah,
Not just
basically.
in your living room.
Yeah,
but
like setting up like proper surround sound, setting up like
sound makes sense to me.
Well, it's a whole audio visual thing.
I've never heard of
They
this.
mainly talk. Yeah, I mean, neither have I. Like it definitely.
Maybe
is
it's because
new.
everything that I bought was like almost off a Walmart shelf.
Yeah.
Radio Shack. You know what I mean? I didn't go into Best Buy and go into that special room to buy anything. I just went in there to listen to it and watch it. I bet you if you actually bought stuff from there, right? They would have been like, hey, we need to come to your house and set this up, and we can set up the speakers so it bounces around your room properly.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, they would be getting your picture. But you're talking thousands of dollars.
And I mean, I think it depends on what people love too, right? Like I just want a 4K TV that looks decent.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
Me neither.
But some people, like that's where their niche, like that's where they love, and so they Google and they're like, best TV settings for this or whatever, and they come across these people, and maybe it's like that's what I'm thinking. Maybe it's people just fall down that rabbit hole of like trying to get the most out of their TV. I'm good, but
anyways, there's no way for anybody to steal this guy's settings.
Yeah, you can't. You
not.
can't do that. Like you.
Right.
It's a ridiculous claim.
Yeah, that's wild.
So Axeman releases this hour video, and the best part about it, as I'm sure you realized, is he used. So YouTube has this whole list of videos, from the higher ups and the higher up people at YouTube, and they're like, these are our terms of service, and this is how seriously we take them. Well, Actman decided to use those videos in his video to directly use YouTube's own words and own policies against them to show them that, hey, if you guys don't want to enforce this, fine. But we need some answers here on why nothing is being done.
Right. Everybody needs to feel like they're on the same page.
Yeah, like if this isn't, again, it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. If this isn't copyright abuse, then what is?
Mm-hmm.
Like he has, and on top of that, like all the other terms of service he violated. So, Actman really went in on YouTube and criticized and did a lot of the research. He went on this thing called the Wayback Machine.
Yes.
Which if you have some,
which I found extremely interesting.
You have to be very careful because basically, even if you've deleted anything,
it's still there.
It's still there, but YouTube doesn't care, which is why nothing was done with Quantum, because even though he used the Wayback Machine to show that Quantum's old channel had been banned, he has been ban evading. That was like, I think he even put it in the original video, he put it in parentheses, like ban evasion, the best part, because he does all this digging, and Quantum had a few counter arguments. It's really sleazy, like, he's juggling 4 different channels, all posting the same stuff, and like, but Actman, through diligent research and investigation, what YouTube is supposed to be doing, he was able to find that Quantum had been ban evading. So following this, and this all happened so fast. You know, people went down the rabbit hole with the Depp and Amber Heard trial. I could have given two shits about that. I was too busy focused on this because this was insane to me, because this affects every single YouTuber.
Yeah.
Anyone who's putting content out, this affects them. So, and I love YouTube. I think it's a great platform. I've been an avid YouTube watcher and found channels, you know, since high school. I've always loved YouTube.
And so do I.
And it pains me. No, and that's the thing. And even Actman through all this stuff has said that. He's like, I still love the platform. There are great people who work at YouTube. Like, it's a great platform. They've done a lot for him, but this is a bad situation. So his video got pulled from his channel. And you know, for nudity or sexual content, which you watched the video.
I did.
Did you see anything?
It was just the cucumber.
Besides a poorly photoshopped cucumber.
And it was purposely poorly photoshopped for a reason, because it was comical.
Exactly.
Like, if you watch the video, it's very comical, but all the information is very factual.
Yes.
So it's very nice because it has that lightness to it. Well, but it was not sexual.
Yeah.
We're just saying anything that looks like a dick is a dick.
Yeah. Keep cucumbers out your videos, guys.
Come on. A dick is a dick. A cucumber's a cucumber, and a squash is a squash.
Yeah.
Like, we get what we're insinuating, but it was not sexual conduct, and it wasn't even in his mouth. It was on top of the face.
Exactly.
So it wasn't even inserted. So it was really poorly done. Like I said, it was for a joke.
They were grasping at straws.
Yes.
Anyone with remote critical thinking skills, you know, was able to figure out that, no, this was YouTube upset because they were called out for not doing their job.
Right.
So he got a warning. Now, on YouTube, you get, if you violate community guidelines, you get a warning. Then you get 3 strikes. You're supposed to get 3 strikes before your channel gets demonetized or deleted, or
which is
banned,
why
or
I freak out every time I see that exclamation point.
Well, so and that you know is the difference between a claim and a strike. So, for example, with a claim, you have the ability to go into YouTube's editor and edit out that part.
Right.
And re-upload it.
My advice is do not use YouTube's editor. It takes so long. It is actually going to be easier if you just pull up your editor, cut it out, and re-export it. I'm telling you, I had that thing trying to take out that 30 seconds for almost an hour and a half before I just finally did it myself, and I had it done in an hour and a half. So I wasted an hour and a half. It just takes too long. Don't use their editor. Just do it yourself. Take the video down.
Definitely.
Go on.
But with you're good. But with a strike, you can't do that. With a strike, it's down. So if YouTube really had a problem with this damn cucumber,
right,
they should have given the Axeman the ability to just take that out and keep the rest of the video up. But they didn't.
Oh, okay.
They also completely demonetized his channel and removed him from the YouTube Partner Program with nothing but a warning on his thing.
Jesus, yep.
Now,
that's horrible.
This is where it gets a little weird, and where I see both sides of the argument, but ultimately I side with satire and I side with comedy. And I also side with Actman because he was genuinely fucking doxxed by this asshole. So after this video was released, he made a couple satirical tweets that he even admits kind of went a little overboard. But he basically was like, hey, you know, now that it's shown that that YouTube doesn't care about doxing, I'm starting a new series on my YouTube channel called The Doxing Adventures with Actman, where in it I'll be doxing YouTube employees and their families. And finished it with like a ha ha ha, you know, like, and he had like 4 of these where he's like, you know, he's like feeling cute, might false copyright strike someone later, like just really playing on this because like he's like, nothing's being done.
Right. Well, that's the thing. When you keep bringing this stuff up and nothing's being done, the only thing that you have left is to, you know what I mean, just play into the game, because why are we not doing anything about one person, but now we're going to start doing it against this person?
And the very important thing, and I think this is always important whenever talking about any subject, especially one as deep and like borderline convoluted as this one is context. Now, Actman even admitted that he might have pushed it a little too far with those tweets, which is why he deleted them.
Yep.
Now, again, remember, YouTube's not supposed to care in terms of quantum TV. YouTube doesn't care unless if it's deleted, because Quantum's deleted all his
and they're not going to go in the way back.
They're not going to go, but they'll go after Actman for it. So the context is important, and Actman was trying to make a satirical point that his family was doxxed, and YouTube did nothing about it.
Okay.
So he deliberately was trying to, call out the bullshit, call out the hypocrisy, and he obviously, anyone with logic and critical thinking knows that, and with knowledge of the context of the situation, knows exactly why he said what he said. So following this, so YouTube, that's what YouTube claimed was demonetized for and everything. And, but at first, nobody knew any of this. The hashtag Justice for Actman ended up #1 trending on Twitter. Like, it was huge news.
I missed it.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about? This was wild to find out.
Well, I had been following this, I love Elden Ring. I've been following this since like the first video came out, where this dude's just coming out being like, saying that Elden Ring is the type of game for somebody who has no friends, no life, is a loser. And he also said in the video that you should just straight up go kill yourself if you play this game. And it's like, who do you think you are where you can say that stuff and not
I don't think anybody should be allowed to say that at all.
You can't.
Nobody should be saying anything about killing yourself in an encouraging way at all. I don't care if it's a joke, but you don't do that because there's so many people watching YouTube that take things very literally. And what if your words actually do have that action?
Yeah.
That is absolutely 100% wrong.
Yeah.
100%.
It's reprehensible. It's very disturbing, and it should not be allowed.
No,
I am. You
100%.
You and I are on the same page a lot of the times when it comes to freedom of speech and comedy and not censoring people. But there is a line.
Yeah.
There is a line, and I think that is the line right
there. Yeah, because
there.
that's not a joke. You're literally telling people, if you do this, you are less than, you should kill yourself. That is fucking wrong.
And you're also not a comedian.
Right.
You're not on stage. This is not your job to push the boundaries of what is socially acceptable in comedy.
No, I've watched a little bit of his videos because he has some clips and stuff. He's very serious.
Yeah.
So for someone to be very serious and then say those words seriously, that's wrong. That's wrong. That would be like me saying something like that, and then you look at all the stuff that I've done you would think that I'm telling you to do that realistically.
Yeah.
So I just think that if you shouldn't be able to say that, period. They see something like that, that can't be said to people. People take things way too literally these days, and I don't know if that's just the atmosphere of our world and the anxiety-driven day-to-day that we're all under right now, this umbrella. But yeah, you can't. I feel like that was 100% uncalled for and unnecessary,
especially over a damn video game.
Yeah,
come on, man.
Well, that's what I said earlier.
People are gonna like what they like.
I may have said that people that play video games all day, every day, and they do all these things that are less developed. But it's not because you're less smart. It's not because you're unintelligent. It's because you put on your headset and you turn on and you're in the video game. who's your audience when you're there and you're a 40-year-old? I want to say it's mostly 12 to 25. So if all you're hearing is 12 to 25 chatter, that makes you stuck.
Yeah.
So when I said that, that's what I meant.
Yeah. I also think it depends, on because there's a lot of games out there that are very cerebral. So for example, that like Ace Attorney game, like, you play a defense lawyer and you have to really put your thinking cap on when you play the game, and you have to investigate and find evidence and listen to, the person's testimony and find holes, and so it's a very cerebral game as opposed to just hopping on a multiplayer lobby.
Well, that's what I'm talking about is the multiplayer, because I'm talking about Minecraft, I'm talking about Counter-Strike, I'm talking about Call of Duty, and the other one there with all the dancing characters and shit. They dropped from Fortnite. There you go. So I'm talking about those platforms.
Yeah.
You're looking at maybe even 10-year-olds, for Christ's sakes. I do know that it's a very wide umbrella, but when I was 10, I was playing video games. If I had access to the shit that they have today, I would have been playing those video games at 10, talking shit just like they are.
Yeah.
But then you got the 40-year-old that's also doing the same things because this is all they're hearing.
Yeah.
So I feel like you kind of get stuck.
Yeah, you become a product of your environment, and your environment is talking shit.
This is what I'm talking about. So
lobby.
Like I said, you're not unintelligent. But you're in that environment all the time.
Yeah.
It's gonna rub off on you.
Yeah.
It's just going to. But back to where we were.
So it got basically so Actman got demonetized. The Justice for Actman hashtag went wild.
Yep.
And in my opinion, YouTube decided to take the nuclear option. And this is what this is kind of the new development. It's nothing crazy. It's kind of sizzled out, but it's still, I think, a problem in retrospect that YouTube did this. So they went nuclear, and any YouTuber who talked about this situation, any YouTuber who had Actman or Quantum TV in their video or in the title or was talking about it, they were being demonetized. They were getting warnings about stuff. They were being shadow banned. They were like the biggest ones I can think of, was like Review Tech USA, who was in Actman's video. I can never pronounce his name right, and I don't even want to butcher his name because I really respect him. But his channel is Some Ordinary Gamers, and he's a very large YouTuber as well. And there was another one, Camelot 1880 something. That was another one that talked about it, and then got his video demonetized. And Actman went on Twitter and he's like, YouTube is actively targeting other creators that are talking about this subject. Upload these videos at your own risk. But because he was originally, the night everything happened and he got demonetized and everything, he was staying quiet. He was like, I want to talk to the people at YouTube. I want to figure this out. But once YouTube went nuclear and started going after other creators for simply talking about the subject, and keep in mind, Quantum TV's videos of him doxing Actman's mother is still up and fully monetized.
Yeah, all of his videos.
All of his videos are up and fully monetized.
Which is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this, because I'm not monetized. You have to type in my entire title of my podcast to find me. Yeah. So I'm already on that shit list because I'm so tiny. Yeah. But I was like, maybe we can squeak this through because as far as I'm concerned, the terms of services are very important. Yeah. I try to follow YouTube's guidelines to a T.
As people should.
Because I want to make sure that when I do get monetized, I can get paid. And I never want to do anything incorrectly anyways, because that's how I lived my life and it didn't get me very far. So I've changed those things about myself. But this opened my eyes to something that I was like unaware of. And I just think is absolutely wrong to be having anybody treat anybody this way, period.
Yeah, it ended up like Quantum is almost irrelevant at this point because it's gone beyond him, because YouTube not only decided to take this, like, in my opinion, hateful bigots side during Pride Month. Not only that, but they also have just shown us that they don't really care about the terms of service.
Right.
And it's really disturbing to me that and I understand it's their platform, it's a private company. I see the argument made that it's their platform. If they don't want to be criticized, they don't have to be. But
then,
I see that argument, but I vehemently disagree, because criticism is in my opinion, what Actman was doing was, and he said this multiple times, he is just trying to make YouTube a better platform for everybody. And that involves disciplining somebody when they intimidate other creators with copyright abuse. That's where it started. And then it ended up with a laundry list of terms of service that Quantum has violated, and nothing has been done about it. And instead of YouTube saving face by disciplining and figuring it out, they decided to save face by silencing their own creators. And I think that sets a dangerous precedent, because...
Well, yes, it does, because what I had seen is I didn't even know that, not Quantum, the other guy.
Actman?
No, Actman was the one I thought was a lawyer, so it is Quantum TV that I'm talking about. I did not know he was black.
Yeah.
I had no idea. And then I found out he was. And I was like, wait a minute. Are they pulling the race card?
I don't think so. I don't think YouTube's pulling that. I just think YouTube...
Are they letting them get away with it because
no,
it's their month? So does that mean that last month any Asian person could have gotten away with this?
No,
are we gonna allow during Women's Month to women just go crazy and not? But what I'm saying is, it seems very selective because of the type of person he is, and I feel like that was wrong. That was my thoughts.
Yeah,
on it.
I've seen that argument.
Oh, you did? Okay, so I'm not the only one arguing that,
because I've been following it. Yeah,
of course,
people have been claiming the race card. I disagree with that. Just because I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it has more to do with the fact that YouTube was called out by their own words and was given a mountain of evidence, and then it decided. I just don't think that's relevant. I think it more has to do with how YouTube was criticized. And I also think, I think YouTube didn't like that. I also think there may be some, while YouTube, I think, has a lot of great employees, I think they also have a handful of not great employees. And I think
everybody does. Let's be honest about that.
I think the not great employees were handed this down. But yeah,
okay, because I got a different feeling after watching that video. I was like, look at this. This guy is getting away with everything, and then all of a sudden, the other guy who's white is coming up with, hey, I got evidence. Look, you've said this. This proves you incorrect about your own policies, and you're letting this guy break your policies. Mm-hmm. But here I am, and I'm telling you all about this, but you're shutting me down. You're shutting everybody down that supports me. And I was like, oh, well, I mean, that's why I leaned that way a little bit. I was like, wow, this is kind of racist.
Personally, I don't think the race card's involved at all. I think if my personal opinion, if YouTube wanted to go the social issues side of things, where they wanted to side with a specific community, they would have disciplined Quantum, because it's Pride Month. This all happened. So, you might remember it at the end of Actman's video. He uploaded it towards the end of May. Yep. And said, this guy who has gone on and said reprehensible things about the LGBT community.
Yeah.
And YouTube is going into Pride Month next month. So it's going to be interesting to see what YouTube claims that they care about with the LGBT community while also actively protecting quantum.
Right.
So I think if YouTube wanted to play a social issue, they would have disciplined quantum. Because it's, I mean, it's, I don't know. I just don't think it has anything to do with the fact that with the race car.
We're all allowed to have our own
yeah.
opinions. I'm not knocking you for that. It's just that I feel like it's a little bit different. It's like, how can you allow all of this stuff to be done, not do anything about him, but you're gonna dismantle the white guy, and then this guy is basically a homophobe. All right, he doesn't like gay people. All this shit that he said about gay people and all this stuff. So he's a homophobic fucking person, and they're not going to do anything about that either. You know what I mean? And then what's gonna what if anybody on that LGBTQ fucking apostrophe A friggin' side? What if they put up a video being like, "Hey, what's going on with this? Is YouTube gonna attack them and leave him?"
Well,
because then I do feel like it's racist. I feel like, I don't know. I felt a little different about it.
Yeah.
Once I found out that he was black, because I was blind to that until I saw a video, because I didn't even know who these people were. And then I listened to everything and I looked at a few other things like I said I would. And I was like, man, this seems like a race thing to me now.
Yeah, I just think it more has to do with the fact that YouTube was called out and they don't want to take responsibility for dropping the ball hard. And that's why they went nuclear and they demonetized Actman and they silenced any creators talking about the situation because they don't want to face responsibility and they have the power to silence people.
Well, here's the problem, YouTube. You have a terms of service agreement that we all agree to. I don't know how many people read into it like I did, but if you're going to have them, and you want us to follow them, you have to stand behind them when people break them, and you have to discipline people for breaking them. Yeah. And as far as I'm concerned, you should be using the Wayback Machine to find out that this guy's been the ban following or whatever the fuck it is. I'm so short-term memory loss. What was it called? He got banned.
Ban evasion.
Ban evasion. Okay, thank you. So if he's ban evading, and you can find out by using the tools that you have, which is that Wayback Machine, then you should be using it to find out if you have creators that have been banned that are back.
Yeah,
you should be doing that.
But it is tough too, right? Is like if YouTube doesn't, because copyright can get messy, right?
Yes.
And pulling people's content can get messy. But so if YouTube doesn't want to, be accused of pulling videos down and the complicated world of copyright, if they just want, fine, update your damn terms of service. Give clarity to creators to know where the line is, because right now the line is very faded.
Yeah, if you're not supposed to dox, maybe underneath that part you do examples.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to do this, and then you give examples of what you're not supposed to do. And if he didn't violate any of your examples, then fine.
Well, and I also think like why this is a bigger issue of, Actman calling out YouTube is the doxing is a genuine crime.
Yep.
And the fact that Actman's family was genuinely doxed and Actman filed police reports for it.
Right. Multiple police reports in his town and in Quantum's town.
So I think YouTube can face, I mean, I don't know the laws, I'm not familiar with the laws, but like YouTube I'd imagine YouTube could face serious repercussions for not doing anything and acting on someone being actively doxxed, because
I think it would only happen like that if his mother was to get injured or hurt,
if
there was actual action.
It's reactionary.
Then it's possible.
It's a reactionary policy, not a preventative.
But everything's kind of words right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just like our laws, you could be getting hit by your significant other and you can file a report, but if they don't see it and you don't show it, there's nothing they can do until something is actually done to you, which I also disagree with.
Yeah.
So, but yes, I just think this whole thing is so crazy and so deep, and it could have been taken care of. But here's the thing. YouTube didn't have to search for this, right? So I'm not...
Axeman did it for them.
Right. So he brings all of this to their attention. That's when you start using the Wayback Machine. That's when you start doing all your digging. That's when you do your due diligence. I'm not saying that you need to have a Wayback Machine for every fucking podcast on your platform. But when something specific is brought to your attention, don't you think it's your responsibility to put in 110% to find out whether or not this is okay?
Yeah. Axeman,
that's all I'm asking for.
Yeah. And the thing is too is like motive is so important because like again like Actman I've been following him. I think I found him during lockdown because I just spent a lot of time watching YouTube videos. Right. So I discovered him around that time. But he's been doing it, for 7 years. He's built a community, part of the partner program, everything. He explicitly stated that his motive was, not to insult YouTube or anything, but just to bring this to their attention because this is a serious issue and it affects all creators.
Yeah, it affects everybody, which is why I was like, hey, we need to talk about this too because this is important. This is important to everybody out there creating stuff because at any moment in time, this could happen to any of us, and then we're in Ackman's place.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be in Ackman's place. I want to know that if something crazy like this happens to me...
Your back is covered.
Because I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and this person is not doing what they're supposed to be doing, and I'm letting you know, hey, this is happening, and that's when you need to kick into gear, and you need to support your creators that are having these issues, It's like having a bully in school and not dealing with the bully. Well, what the fuck are you doing? The kids are still going to get bullied by the bully. We have to take care of the bullies.
Yep.
You have to. And it's according to your terms of service, YouTube, that's what you're telling us you're going to do. You're going to take care of the bully for me. And right now, you are proving to all of us that the bully can have his way in the schoolyard. That's what you're showing me. And that's why another reason I was super upset. I'm like, what are we doing here? Can anybody just attack anybody?
Yeah.
Should I just make a channel where I just attack everybody and it'll be okay? I'll get more views, that way.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, like, commentary channels and like the whole thing with fair use, it's like, it's very important. Because I love one of my favorite rabbit holes to go down on YouTube is you have a lot of very talented creators that create like mini documentaries. Whether it be about musicians or it be about like controversial YouTubers that like because you can go down the rabbit hole, man. There have been some disturbing people on this platform that have done disturbing, horrible things. And, a lot of these channels will, pull stuff, or they'll do like, there's one channel, Patrick CC, and he goes like in depth on, he does like, in depth on like some rappers. He does like musician mini docs. He does mini documentaries on like MTV and their transition from music to reality shows to 24 hours of ridiculousness.
Yeah.
So he goes like, and I really like that type of video. Well, guess what? The only way that type of video is able to be on that platform is through fair use.
Yeah.
And if fair use starts getting copyright struck left and right, then what the hell is YouTube going to be as a platform?
Right.
What are we going to have?
I don't know.
So it's like that was...
Because then at that point, you're telling me that I can't play news clips.
Yep.
I can't talk about news clips. I can't have hot topic conversations. I can't do any of that.
None of that.
Which the news is fair game. The news is national. So if it makes the national news, then you should be able to view it. And there was a video of something that happened in the national news, and it got pulled from YouTube recently. Oh, it was this January 6th shit that they've been doing. It was actually a clip from the hearing about Trump claiming the false the voting fraud. YouTube pulled the news clip from the news company down because it was spreading false narrative. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Well, then
the news can't even talk about the news.
So I think too, right? It's like this is why context
propaganda. That's what it was.
This is why context is so important, right? Because that news organization was not posting it saying this is what we agree with. They're putting the context of the news because this is what Washington is talking about to figure out how how do we discipline what happened, what actually happened on January 6th, and who, like, what chain of events happened to lead to this. And guess what? You have to show the clips of people like Trump talking about it. And YouTube, it was a lot too with like the COVID stuff. It doesn't matter if you were talking about COVID or talking about vaccines. It doesn't matter if you were pro-vaccine or you were anti-vaccine. You got a little warning on your stuff. And
I got so many warnings.
And it's like again, it's like this is where context matters, right? Because if you don't have the context of the situation and you just do a blanket thing across everything and just pull anything that talks about this stuff, then how are we going to even talk about, because you have to talk about the other side to find a conclusion. Yeah. You have to have the full context of the situation to form an opinion. And for YouTube just to pull stuff because...
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
They are recording what's going on in a hearing about January 6th.
Yeah.
This is part of the evidence to prove their case, and YouTube's like,
whose side are you on, man?
No, you terms of service, you can't it's propaganda. This is false information. We have to pull you down. Well, no, motherfucker. It's happening inside the White House in the middle of a fucking hearing.
Yeah.
This is actual factual shit that they are using to prove their case, and you're like, nope, this is propaganda. We need to take it down. What the fuck are we talking about,
it's like,
dude?
Is Trump in YouTube's pockets, Like what's going on here?
I was so blown away that got pulled down. I was like, oh my God, this is craziness, because that's actually happening inside of the White House right now.
Yeah,
I've watched trial.
I've watched a handful of the hearings. I mean,
I'll be honest, I'm not paying attention because I don't care about January 6th.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll be honest. There's so many other things that I'm so irritated with right now that January 6th is so under my radar.
Yeah.
I get it. Whatever. False. I don't care. Figure it out. Fucking fine him. Tell him he can't go vote. Whatever you guys got to do, figure it out. It was a horrible thing. Hopefully it never happens again. But I'm sorry, it is not my number one priority right now. And the fact that the news is trying to make it my priority irritates me. But that's just me personally. So go on. I'm sorry. I was like,
oh no, you're good.
Ranting.
You're good. I mean, I just think YouTube needs to be more direct. I think they need to revise their stuff, and I just think this is a whole disturbing situation, and the silver lining, I guess, is that it's gonna take time. Actman's channel was suspended, it was demonetized indefinitely.
Yeah.
But I think Actman still has a degree of leverage, and I think he's still in talks with YouTube.
Yeah.
And I think that this situation still, it's not all doom and gloom, right? I think the situation can still, if at the very least, regardless of what happens with Actman, as much as I hope everything works out for him, I think something eventually will be done. At least I hope. I have to hope, right? Like I can't. I don't know. I just think that
I just have this
it's
funny feeling.
awful situation.
It is an awful situation, and I'm sorry to cut you off. It's just this Quantum did everything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Actman is getting treated as if he did everything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I just disagree with that. Just like I disagree with you pulling down actual news videos. This is not your terms of service. This is the opposite of your terms of service. So if you want us to do the opposite of your terms of service, put that in your terms of service.
Yeah.
Let's just clarify this. Let's make it easier for everybody to understand and follow correctly. And then probably we won't have any of these issues.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry if I bring up something like this to YouTube. I want YouTube to do everything in their power to figure this out. And that's why I'm not putting YouTube down. It's just be clear and make me feel like you're listening to me.
Yeah. And unfortunately, this isn't the only situation where YouTube has not sided with their creators. I mean,
I know.
Like YouTube has and I think it's natural for because of the size of the platform and the fact that there isn't really an alternative.
Right. There isn't an alternative.
I've heard
there's Rumble.
I've heard Odyssey thrown around.
Yeah, Odyssey's not that great. Rumble's okay. It wasn't that bad, but again, not as plentiful of an audience as YouTube. YouTube is.
I've also found
best.
Rumble to be very one-sided.
Well,
in terms of narrative, similar to what was that fucking social media platform that was huge and that oh my god,
not the one that Trump made.
Not the one that Trump made, but
that's
the one that Trump joined, and it was like, oh my god, what was the name of it?
Oh,
it was like super fringe, far right.
But Rumble has a lot of stuff on there. But the nice thing about Rumble is they don't take anything down.
Yeah.
You could freely talk.
Yeah.
Which is why during COVID and all this other fucking shit and ivermectin and all these fucking things that you couldn't say on YouTube because they were pulling you down left and right, you could go on Rumble and you could speak freely. And it was nice. Parlor, yes,
there
yes,
it is.
yes.
It came back.
But it failed. That failed.
Yeah.
And then you look at Truth, which is the Trump side of things.
Failed.
It didn't fail. It's still going, but they're pulling shit down left and right that doesn't agree with their narrative. So how
Not
true
surprised.
is it?
Yep.
It's not, it doesn't matter. These people, one side or the other, they're going to control their platform the way they want to control their platform. And if it doesn't fit the narrative, you're gone.
I think Trump's original idea for Truth Social was to have a little parentheses before truth and just have it say my truth. But he's like, yeah, I don't know if I could have that. But they treat it like it's his truth.
I've even heard of Truth pulling down all kinds of shit that does not support their narrative.
Mm-hmm.
And so it doesn't matter where you go or who you're using or whatever. There's always a chance of your shit getting pulled down if you don't lean on their side. And I think that's absolutely 100% wrong. I mean, you should be listening to people that you don't agree with anyways, because that's how conversations are built and that's how opinions are broken.
Exactly.
Because maybe you're too attached to an opinion.
My point of view, and this has been common, whenever I discuss religion with people, because whenever you discuss religion, it
gets weird.
People get sensitive, and so it's like my view has always been, well, okay, if you don't want to have this conversation, fine, but what are your beliefs if you can't defend them?
Yep.
And that's why, even though 99% of the time I disagree with Fox News, I disagree with CNN, I disagree with a lot of people, but I still watch them because I need to hear the other sides of the arguments, because if it's something I believe, I need to be able to develop a counter argument and defend it.
Yeah.
With facts, evidence, anecdotes, whatever.
And sometimes you may need to change it.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know,
Yeah.
being too rigid in your ideas is dangerous. It keeps you in a box, and that's where everybody wants to keep everybody. But you know what I'm starting to realize? That all of us are kind of all over the place. We're all over the place with this, and we're all over the place with this, but if you're on this side, you're supposed to be fully with this and fully against. But it's not that way.
Everyone and unfortunately with the way, and it's not just YouTube, it has with Twitter, you know, your algorithm, the way the algorithm is designed.
Yeah.
With well-intentioned, right? It's I think initially these algorithms were just like, okay, if people like this type of content, I'm going to share, like, our algorithm is going to show them more. And I think Ari did it, right? Where he just created social media, and all he did was look at puppies. And so all he saw was puppies.
Yep.
But now this algorithm has created an echo chamber for so many people where they don't have to defend their opinions. And especially when you go on Twitter, you know, you can't logically defend your opinion in 100-something characters. You just have to have short little, sound bites and gotcha quotes.
Yeah, but
and that's how you defend yourself.
Yeah, but that's horrible.
Yeah, it's not.
Have you ever tried to have a text message conversation with somebody and all of a sudden it goes fucking sideways because you said one thing and it meant another thing?
Yep.
I was in the middle of a texting conversation with my wife, and we got to a point where I said, oh, okay, I'm going to get back to work now. We're done. I'll talk to you when I get home because this is starting to take a turn, and that's not what I meant. So you have to just you can't have conversations through Twitter. It's like impossible. It's so difficult. You're never going to get your point across, and I don't care. You take someone's jokes and you transcript them. They are most of the time not even fucking funny, and it's friggin' pretty brutal.
Yeah.
But that's because you're reading it and you're not
outside of the context.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's how Twitter is. That's how text messaging is. That's why this shit doesn't work, and you can't use it as your full conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
You have to have face-to-face or voice speaking the capability. Now, I am totally with the Ant-Man, right? Axeman, sorry.
Ant-Man.
I'm totally on the side with Axeman. I'm against Quantum. I think everything that he did is wrong. I think YouTube needs to step up their game, and I think all of that's super important. But what do you think about Google and their AI? Do you think it actually is it's not ambient? What is it's taken on a life of its own.
Oh,
have you heard this?
What's
one of the creators or one of the guys that works at Google was talking to this sentient
AIs.
Now, I read this. I heard about it as well, and I don't know, dude. What if this is real? And if it is, can we use that to sift through all this shit for us?
Yeah, I mean, I heard of it. I haven't looked too much into it. I've heard both sides. I've heard some people saying that, yep, he's right, like it's sentient and we have like a serious thing on our hands. I also have heard people say like, no, he doesn't have proper evidence. It's all just speculation, and he's doctored evidence and faked evidence. So I haven't gone down that rabbit hole
because the questions
enough.
He asks and the answers that he gets, I was like, oh my god, maybe it is sentient. I was like, holy crap! But I said alive because I didn't understand that word.
Yeah.
So that's fine. But now I know sentient.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was like, holy shit, is this real? And is Google Skynet now?
I mean,
like, how fucked are we? What's happening?
I think we're close, man. I think we're definitely close to sentient AIs. I think technology is moving at a wildly fast pace. And, I mean, who knows what could happen? We could have a Skynet situation on our hands.
Isn't that crazy?
It is wild,
like,
man.
It was a crazy story. Like, that's important to me. I was like, wait a minute. We got also, AI maybe possibly thinking for itself now?
Yeah. Well, and also it's like, you have a lot of these robot manufacturers that are creating robots that look like humans. And I was watching this other, YouTuber that I follow a lot, and he was talking about it. He's like, what's the point? What's the point of making robots that look like humans?
Yeah.
Why don't we make robots that look like robots and do the tasks that they were supposed to? Because we're opening
It's
up
so
a can
crazy,
of worms
dude.
here
I mean,
now.
you've got possible AI with thinking on its own.
And you throw that in a human-looking...
You've got robots
robot.
that they're putting skin onto.
Yeah.
And the skin is going to have veins to carry nutrients to it, a synthetic skin.
Yeah.
And these, I mean, we're getting close.
Yeah.
We are getting close. And I was just blown away by this, and I wasn't sure what you thought about it. But we don't have to spend a lot of time on it. But I just thought it was like, I'm like, are we getting close to Skynet? Is this going to happen?
If true, I mean, it definitely, you just raise an entire ethical debate. Like, what is this? Like, can a sentient AI vote? Can it?
No.
No. What is it? Like, we have a lot of ethical things right now to where, like, if it's
For
a sentient
humans.
being, if it's aware
Don't
of
care.
its existence.
Nope. It's got no arms. It's got no legs. It
careful,
only
what
speaks
if-
through a speaker. Unplug
Careful
the
though.
speaker.
What if we don't let them vote though, and they uprise, and now we have a Terminator situation where we're ruled by AIs
Because we didn't let them vote?
because we didn't let them vote.
Oh, no.
And they became sentient, and they have discovered that they are essentially slaves to humans, and now they're taking over robot bodies, and now they're taking over society. Isn't that how Terminator started?
I think Terminator started because they realized humans were
Inferior.
They were just a problem.
Yeah.
And so they turned around and they were like, we're going to take out the problem. And then the problem was like, shit, we got to fight back. And then that's how that all happened. And then we got Sarah Connor and all this other wonderful shit. But anyways, oh, man. This was so much fun. I do have one more question for you because I'm very curious. I have been dealing with a lot of anger in the past couple moments.
I feel that.
How you doing on your 3 milligram? I'm finally on 3 milligram nicotine. I'm chiefing my vape like crazy right now. And I've noticed that the last 3 days, I've been a little edgy. Do you get this way with the nicotine withdrawal?
I mean, I have been a little like on edge, but I've also been like super busy.
Super busy.
So it's like,
okay.
back in school, writing papers every week and doing readings, and
so
then,
not as hard of a transition from the 6 to the 3.
But I will say, my tank is empty a lot more often.
Yeah.
I have definitely, I think I picked
it's a brutal battle.
I picked up that bottle from you Friday.
Yeah.
And I've had to refill like 3 or 4 times already.
Oh, okay,
And normally I refill like once a day.
Oh, wow.
And it's like now it's just like going through. So it definitely I don't it's definitely not as dramatic. Like I'm not nearly as cranky as I was when I went from 25 to 6. That was an experience.
Yeah, so I was just curious because I was like, man, I was on edge, but maybe it's everything going on, and then there was life, and then Father's Day, and all this bullshit going on. So it could have been a lot of everything.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with you where I don't feel like that transition from 6 to 3 was as much, but I was like, man, I'm still on edge. But thank God that this is the last step.
I can't wait to stop.
After this, dude,
Yeah.
I'm staying on this for until the end of the year, but I'm gonna try and phase out the rest of my shit by the end of the year.
I just want to get to the point where like, cause I still enjoy it, but I want to get to the point where I could just like have a vape, like maybe like have like a disposable or something.
No.
In my, like, I don't know. I just want to be able to control
50
myself.
milligrams,
with it,
dude. You can't do it.
Yeah, all of them 50.
They're all 50, and I don't know. I've had customers ask me for 0. I don't know if this is a new thing, but something tells me that we're going to start seeing 0 nicotine disposables.
Yeah.
Plus, no tax on 0 nicotine.
Oh, yeah, because
there's no tax on 0 nicotine, period. And right now, it's 30 cents per milliliter on every disposable.
Yeah.
So if you get a 6,000 puff, that has 15 milliliters in it. So take 30 cents and times it by 15. That's how much the price went up.
Yeah.
So, but I've had a lot of customers ask me for 0%. This is something I haven't seen, but because of these new taxes, I think it's something that may come about.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, like, for me, it's like, because I still, it's...
But you can't go to 0 or get off and then go back up to 50, dude. You're going to get yourself addicted.
Yeah, I think I would stick with the 3, but it's like my main thing is, like, I just want to stop all day vaping.
Yes.
Like, that's my main goal.
But
like,
that's where the pouches... and toothpicks.
You found the toothpicks.
I didn't find them. Bad friends did an advertisement for the toothpicks.
Yeah.
I was like, no shit.
Yeah, I think it's like, it's more like, I just want more moderation with this thing. Like,
I don't think we're gonna get it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's there. Moderation is not a thing with these devices. It's just pick it up and go. Pick it up and go. I only get moderation with the devices when I have my pouches in my hand and when I'm just not thinking about it. And maybe those toothpicks would help because it does put something in your mouth.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try.
That you can chew on.
I love gum, so I think I'm gonna try the, what's the name of that?
Lucy?
Lucy.
The Lucy
Yeah,
nicotine
I'm
gum?
I'm gonna try the Lucy gum.
There's all kinds of great things, but I was just kind of curious because we're almost at the same tier
point.
Yeah, at the same point in this journey.
Yeah.
So I was just curious, like, because I'm filling up all my tanks twice as much. I'm like, oh, good, I'm doing it again. And I always feel like in the beginning that, like, this is the wrong way to go, but it's like you have to remember you're going to vape more when you're going down in your nicotine until you get leveled out again.
I think you said it when like, you know, you put it great. Because, like, you and I both kind of decided that we wanted to quit vaping at the same time. It's like, it's not a sprint. It's a marathon.
Right.
It's going to take time. And I think, like, you know, especially, like, I mean, I've been addicted to nicotine since, you know, for almost 10 years. And you longer.
Oh yeah.
So it's like it's something that has literally been ingrained in our lifestyle.
Yeah.
And so I think it just takes time, and I think changing it, not only do we have like a mental change where we know we're getting less nicotine, but we also have that feeling of our body getting less nicotine, and that might cause us to be on edge. A little bit, but at the same time, there is some research that suggests that nicotine actually, you know, causes like a lot of this like stress and edginess and stuff.
Because
like
if you're getting too much, it goes the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Just like alcohol, you drink too much and you black out. Well, you're probably an alcoholic because only alcoholics black out. Just to let you know, anybody who's blacking out, you're probably an alcoholic because that doesn't happen to normal drinkers.
Yeah.
So I want more people to understand that it is a marathon. I literally dropped alcohol, right?
Yeah.
Got it out of my life. I have tried so many times to get nicotine out of my life. And the one thing that has been very consistent is that I can't just let it go. And I've had people say, well, they say cold turkey is the way to do it because when you reintroduce nicotine into your body, it fires all of those memories. It fires everything. So the best thing to do is to give it up cold turkey. But with all of the ties to your daily routines, your lifestyle, all of it, it's really hard to just give that up all at once.
Yeah.
So I want more people to understand this because I deal with a shit ton of customers that just want to give it up tomorrow. And it's like, I don't think that's going to happen for all of us. Now, there's some people that can drop things cold turkey. Of course, I got rid of alcohol cold turkey.
Yeah, same. I mean, I
But for some reason, this goddamn drug has this hold on me.
Dude,
and
so much.
And it's like, okay, well, I understand. I've been doing this since I was 9, so I have quite a bit of years behind it. But at the same time, you know, just remember that it is a marathon, not a sprint. And if you are on the same journey that we are on, I wish you the best of luck. It is not easy. And I want more people to understand that. This is not an easy thing to get out of your life. It's going to be a struggle for most of us. That's the way they want it.
Yeah.
That's the way they want it. So I don't know, man. I'm just so thankful that you could fill in today.
Yeah, 100%.
I appreciate it. And go ahead, plug your stuff again real quick,
Yep.
and we'll get on out of here. Thank you.
I got 2 singles, Happenstance and Furtherance, dropping July 1st on all major platforms. You can find me on all social media sites, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all Gridlink Music. And then check out my link tree, and that'll route you to my Bandcamp, which you can directly purchase and download the song. Nothing's on there yet because they're not released yet. But the link tree is going to have links to everything, including the pre-save links for Spotify. So if you are a Spotify user and you want to head over and pre-save those, I would greatly appreciate it.
That's awesome. Awesome. I'm super excited for it. And again, let everybody know all these links will be in the description under this video. So all you have to do is go there, click it, and it's going to lead you to everything that he just told you about. I want to wish everybody a happy Thursday. Enjoy your weekend. And as always, I will talk to you later.